This is Sean's Corner, where all my ideas are anything but square. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in the neighborhood with you. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you please? Won't you please? Please won't you be my neighbor? Hello, television neighbor. Today I am going to talk about feelings. My feelings about Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, one of my favorite shows of all time. I began watching Mr. Rogers in 1983 on Channel 17, public television in Buffalo. It aired at 8:30 a.m. Monday through Friday. I watched the show anytime I had a chance. I really enjoy the different kinds of characters in the show. Characters like King Friday, Lady Elaine, Mr. McFeely, Daniel Tiger Ugamugga. Mr. Rogers' real name was Fred McFeely Rogers. He was a Presbyterian minister in Pittsburgh in his early years. He was also an accomplished musician, writing the songs in this show. The music had a jazzy style I didn't mind. It was catchy stuff. Fred was interested in using television as a tool for education. Mr. Rogers discussed themes and topics such as anger, families, and feelings. He covered topics that were very important to children to learn about. He didn't like the mild violence geared to kids that was on television at the time. Examples such as the Three Stooges, Looney Tunes, and Popeye. To get his show on the air, Fred spoke to the American Senate to introduce the idea of having his show publicly funded. He wanted to draw attention to childhood problems in an engaging and friendly way. His efforts paid off. He was given $20 million for his program. Woo, doggy! He went on to win many awards, including the Presidential Medal of Freedom, Peabody Award, Daytime Emmy, Lifetime Achievement Awards, and even accolades for his picture books. He is still winning awards even after his death in 2003 after a battle with stomach cancer. There is a movie based on Mr. Rogers called Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood with Tom Hanks. The movie was well made and Tom Hanks' reenactment was very sharp. Mr. Rogers created a safe environment for viewing for children. Every episode ended with the message, "You make every day such a special day for just you being you. It makes me feel like I can be myself, and I know others feel the same. This is a great message that gives me confidence and still resonates with me today." Mr. Dressup. Mr. Dressup was a children's entertainer. He enjoyed putting on skits with puppet characters, singing songs, and dressing up for his show. I really enjoyed all the guests on the show. One of my favorites was Beth Ann Cole. She played a friend of Mr. Dressup's that was an RCMP or Mountie officer. He also had a friend named Lisa Yamanaka, who is also the voice of DA or Dorothy Ann in the Magic School Bus. There are a lot of similarities between Mr. Rogers and Mr. Dressup. They were actually friends in real life and worked together at the same TV station, WQED, on different shows. The biggest difference is that Mr. Dressup was broadcasted on the CBC instead of PBS. At one point, Mr. Rogers was working at the CBC, but moved back to the USA. He recommended that Ernie Coombs be a replacement, which successfully turned into Mr. Dressup. The show ran for a 29 years, which spanned 4,000 episodes. Mr. Dressup won lots of prestigious awards for his television show. He won 3 Gemini Awards and an appointment to the Order of Canada and even a spot on Canada's Walk of Fame. Mr. Dressup faced lots of competition from a TV newcomer, Sesame Street. The assumption was that Sesame Street would put an end to him, but in fact, he survived and proved his style of show was still successful. Mr. Dressup had a change-up of puppet characters as well. The original puppets were Casey and Finnegan. They were eventually slowly replaced as not to traumatize children. Their replacements were Chester the Crow, Lorenzo the Raccoon, Annie and Truffles, my still favorite to be Casey and Finnegan. Mr. Dressup was put on to reruns after his last episode in 1996 for 10 straight years. They eventually took it off the air because of declining ratings, and the CBC wanted to make new children's programming. In conclusion, Mr. Dressup taught kids a lot of important things. He was good friends with Mr. Rogers, who he surpassed in episodes. Mr. Dressup was award-winning and has made an important mark in Canadian television. Flock of Seagulls. I like the band, the Flock of Seagulls, a lot, especially their first popular single, I Ran. I think the keyboard is catchy, but the chorus is timeless and unforgettable. Flock of Seagulls is a band described as experimental, radical, and unorthodox. The band is known for their trend-setting hairstyles, as well as their modern keyboard or synth sound. The band consisted of Mike Score, lead vocals and keyboards, Frank Maudsley, bass guitar, Ellie Score, drums, Willie Woo, lead guitar. I was first introduced to the band in the 90s when my sister Brenda had a tape with that song on it. It caught my ear, and I've liked it for many, many years. Flock of Seagulls was formed in 1979 in Liverpool, England. The name came from a song, Toiler of the Sea, by a punk band named The Stranglers, and a book called Jonathan Livingston Seagull. The band was respected for paving the way for other bands to have music videos and gain popularity through MTV.
I want my MTV!
Even so, the band still peaked with popularity in 1982. The band has put out 7 albums in their career, including their last release, which was in 2021. The last 2 albums released, Ascension and String Theory, are completely instrumental albums and charted the classic band with the original lineup since 1984. I have heard the other charting singles, which I am not very fond of, but I am more familiar with I Ran and still enjoy it. In conclusion, Flock of Seagulls is a long-lasting band that has stood the test of time. They were very influential to me, as well as other bands of the time, because they were trend setters and paving the way for up-and-coming pop music on MTV. The song I Ran will always be in my head. Feeling lucky today, punk? Well, are you? In this segment, I'm going to talk about a prolific actor, Clint Eastwood. He is a well-known actor and director from the mid-50s and is still making movies currently at the ripe old age of 91. I was first introduced to Clint Eastwood when I was 16 by my dad, who was watching the Dirty Harry movie. I really enjoyed the action in the movie, but most of all, I liked his line, "Go ahead, make my day." Clint was born in the 1930 in San Francisco. He was bad to the bone growing up. He was always getting kicked out of school for pranks and hijinks. He attended Piedmont Middle School, but he didn't care for it and didn't do well. No one knows if he ever really graduated. Clint Eastwood landed a screen test with Universal despite having no acting experience. He was cast in small roles in movies like Revenge of the Creature and Francis in the Navy. They were released in 1955. Clint got his big break when he was cast in the TV show Rawhide, which had commercial success. As Clint rose to fame, he was known for spaghetti westerns, musicals, offbeat comedies, and even war movies. He has an eclectic style. Clint has a large family with 8 kids, boys and girls, that he is very close with. His first daughter, Lori, was born in 1954. Believe it or not, he was a politician who was elected mayor to the town of Carmel by the Sea for 2 years. Clint Eastwood won an award for Best Picture for his Western movie, Unforgiven. He also won awards for his sports movie, $1 Million Baby. He had greatest commercial success for his movies, Every Which Way But Loose, and the sequel, Any Which Way You Can. Fascinating facts. Clint weighed 11 pounds when he was born. Holy mackerel. He's also related to William Bradford, who made the voyage in the Mayflower from England to Cape Cod as a pilgrim. Here's a little known fact, cowboy. Clint is a country singer and piano player. His 3 favorite formats are jazz, country, and western. His song Barroom Buddies, sung with Merle Haggard, reminds me of when I was 9 years old and I was listening on my realistic radio. What a twanger of a song!
I'm old chug-a-lug-a-luggin', barroom buddy of mine.
All things considered, I learned a lot of information about Clint Eastwood and his career. I found it interesting that he was in spaghetti westerns early in his career, but he is known for action movies like Dirty Harry and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It must be tricky to be an action star and have 8 children. Holy crap! It was interesting to learn about Clint's music career. I never knew he was such a musician. Overall, Clint is a talented actor, director, musician, and composer. Learning all these new facts really did make my day. Robin Williams. I saw it. That was a run by Fruity. In this segment, I am going to dive into the life and times of my favorite actor, Robin Williams. Robin Williams is a comic genius. My favorite hilarious role that he played was Miss Doubtfire. First there's a lady, and I'm getting hot flashes. Toodaloo! What are you staring at? Because of all the hijinks. But he played a few other gut-busting characters. Some of my other favorites include the Doctor from 9 Months, Mork from Mork and Mindy, and the Genie from Aladdin. Robin Williams was born July 21st, 1951 in Chicago, Illinois. His dad worked for the Ford Mercury division, while his mother was a former model. Robin was always trying to get his mother to laugh. It really helped him develop his humor at a young age. His dad's job made him move around a lot as a young child. He attended many different schools and was known as being a shy person. Drama class allowed Robin Williams to show his talents, and he became proud and outgoing. Robin impressed his classmates and teachers in drama class so much that his teacher said he was going to be something special. Robin went to Juilliard for dramatic arts with other well-known actor Christopher Reeves. Robin and Christopher were great friends and referred to as brothers from another mother. Robin was known to be very energetic. Christopher once said, Robin was like an untied balloon that had been inflated and immediately released. He was bouncing off the walls. Robin went on to be a successful actor and comedian and had many timeless and respected roles. I'm going to talk about a few of my favorite roles of Robin. In Robin's early career, he played an alien called Mork in the show Mork and Mindy. It was a comedy show that I think is a barrel of laughs. Robin's tricks, his energy, and his gusto made it a laugh riot. My favorite scene in Mork and Mindy is when Mork gets attacked by a sandwich. It was very unexpected and hilarious. Mork thought the sandwich was attacking his neck, so he beat it with a fork. Another funny character that Robin plays is Dr. Kosevich. He's an obstetrician in California in the movie 9 Months. He played a character with a very thick Polish accent. I like this character because he has a good sense of humor and he made me laugh hard. He had many good one-liners like, I'm sorry, I put your birthdays in with the monkeys and the baboons. I wish I could have rolled on the floor, but I was in the theater at the time. I'd say the movie was a barrel of laughs. My third favorite is the classic Jumanji. His role in Jumanji was one unorthodox because he looks like he'd been living in the jungle too long. He had long, scraggly hair, a bushy beard, a potato sack for clothes, and even long leaves hanging off his clothes. He plays a character that is more of a comedic and serious role compared to his other roles. Jumanji was an action-packed movie full of interesting animals and adventure. In conclusion, many people say that Robin Williams was a comic genius, and I agree. He was a genius because of all the roles he played. Robin was enthusiastic, unpredictable, exciting, and versatile. It was a joy to watch his movies. I bet he laughed through all of it. I got a feeling like a racehorse. Good morning, Vietnam. Ups on the way, dear.